right. Our live, we're going to do it tonight. It's late. I just got back. Late flight from Denver. Delayed a little bit at the TSA there and landed facility back here at the house. It is 10:55 p.m. Pacific, but I just as soon do it now as opposed to wait until tomorrow. I got some stuff tomorrow morning, so I was worried like we're not doing coffee, and the next thing you know, it's too late, and would probably be better to do it tomorrow so we could really kind of dig into the Patriots. But I think I got enough. Like I got enough of a vibe where I feel like we can get into it now. And then, Wednesday with Lorenzo and Thursday with Chris and Jaleel, we'll be able to do a little bit more of the deeper dive. Hello, McFly. As you say hello to me, Bolt Fam, Andy, Maddie, Kid Vix is here. A lot of our usuals. We appreciate you. Saludos to you. I see Sky Felix. So let's do the beer. Hopefully you're all having one with me. Another Tim Cates special. He got me the 4-pack. So this is our Valley Girl Blonde Ale. San Fernando Valley, 818 Brewing, out of Canoga Park. I used to live right next to Canoga Park in Woodland Hills, so I appreciate the 818. I am a man of many area codes. When I first moved here, I lived in the 213 before they switched over to the 310 when I was in Malibu, and then after that, I moved to Venice, where I was, I believe, still the 213, and then it flipped to the 310, and then I moved to Fairfax District, which was 310, right there off of Fairfax. After that, moved to the 818, got my Woodland Hills 818 on, south of the Boulevard, of course, highbrow, and then down to Orange County, Los Alamitos, where I was 562. I had to live in Huntington Harbor for about a year during construction, 714. And now it's all mobile anyway. My mobile's a 310. So there we go. 818 Brewing. Big pull right away. I figure the numbers will be down because it's so late. But here's a quick takeaway. I thought the guys played their tails off. I thought they were great defensively. I mean, they lose the game 19-3, but 13 of those points are courtesy of the defense. Obviously, the pick 6 off Lambert Smith's hands, that was a bummer. That thing goes for a first down, and maybe Trey Lance picks up that first down after the first 3 and out, and he's feeling a little bit, and they can get a little something going. So that's a bummer. So you got the pick 6, and then, of course, you have the strip sack fumble. That produced 3, so that's 10 after the extra point. And then the turnover on downs at midfield, where the offense couldn't punch it in with a goal-to-go situation again, and they settle for another 3. So of the 19 points, 6 of them scored by the offense against a defense with no Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, Derwin James, Deion Henley, Denzel Perriman, for the most part, Dante Jackson, no Elijah Molden. That's planting incredible seeds of doubt, because really the only thing that offense had going outside of one busted play to Evan Ingram for 37 yards was a bunch of checkdowns and a bunch of behind the line of scrimmage throws and screens and Bo Nix being able to break contain. And if you got Khalil Mack out there, who's one of the best edge setters and someone who almost never takes the cheese on that, you are not getting outside and you're not breaking contain on Khalil Mack. And Tuli's exceptional at it as well. Those runs from Bo Nix aren't there. So I don't even know what that offense would have looked like. And not to mention all the screens. Think about how good Derwin James is at blowing up screens. That's what that whole thing was. So I love the fact that you plant those seeds of doubt in the Broncos' brains, because you're the 7. You win that wild card matchup against the Patriots, and you're going right back to Denver. But you're not showing up, with Trey Lance, and I thought Jarrett Patterson ran his tail off. I really loved how hard he ran, and I thought he was really good in pass pro actually as well. But you're showing up with Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Justin Herbert, Oronde Gadsden, Jamari Sawyer at left tackle. I'll address this real quick, by the way. Number one thing, a lot of people have asked me about it, and I haven't really been clear with the answer. Can Joe Alt come back? The answer to that question literally is yes. Joe Alt could come back. There are 2 extra designated to return from IR spots that are available to teams in the playoffs. So yes, technically, Joe Alt could come back. My understanding is it's not likely, that the ankle still needs a lot of time to heal. And as far as the wild card matchup against the Patriots goes, probably not likely. So I think that's where we're at. Look, this is a team that always assumed they were going to make the playoffs when they started going on their run and when they started locking up their seed for the playoffs. I think you would have started to hear some of that from Joe or from the team. Or maybe they're just playing it coy and the guy's going to roll out there on Sunday night against the Patriots and they're going to be like, oh no, well, this is dramatically different. I think we can all agree that Jamari Sawyer is really, really settled into that. That's where he should play. He's a left tackle. He's good at it. He pass protects well. You don't have to always give him help. He's going to get beat occasionally, but I think that's just Jamari Sawyer's spot. Leave him there. You gave him a couple weeks to get healthy, so I think you drop him there. I'm looking forward to going back and watching the tape. I thought Trevor Penning played well. I know he got put on skates a couple times, but for the most part, I think compared to kind of what Mekhi Becton's been doing the last few weeks, I thought Trevor, against one of the best defensive fronts in the league, not only held his own, but I thought he played pretty well, especially those run lanes that he was opening up for Jared Patterson on the interior of the line. I thought he did really well with that. So, and I thought Andre James played well at center. He had one bad beat where I think it was Zach Allen just basically picked him up and tossed him into Trey Lance. But outside of that, I thought those two played really well. Bobby Hart had an okay game. Deculus had a tough go. He was the one that had to wear it. And that's Nick Benito. He's one of the best pass rushers in the league. So there was that. But defensively, I don't know how you couldn't be encouraged. And I'll tell you, man, I think one of the big takeaways for me is I don't know if we're going to see it in the postseason, but I'd be pretty damn excited about an exclusive rights deal for Marlo Wax and getting him out there with some reps. Man, he looks good. He sees it. He attacks it. He had that beautiful tackle for loss. He almost had two, but he left his feet. I thought of all the young guys that don't get a lot of reps, Branson Taylor, Jarrett Patterson, Darius Davis, Marlo Wax, those kind of guys, Kendall Williamson. I think of all those guys, the best performer was Marlo. And I'm really excited to go back and watch his reps because I thought he played great. Jarrett Patterson would probably be second in line on that list. I thought he played fantastic as well. He just runs hard. He runs hard. He's able to create something out of nothing. So there's that. I thought Owe played really well. But again, you're talking about those edges getting sucked in a little bit, especially Kyle Kennard on a couple of those where you allowed Bo Nix. You didn't set the edge. And he's able to get outside and pick up some of those first downs on runs. And outside of that, all the stuff was screens and runs, out of structure. And I thought they played really well. I was really impressed with how well they played. All right, so beyond that, to New England. I think every single matchup is going to be tough, no matter who you played. If you played the Broncos with that defense, if you played New England with what's likely to be the league MVP, great coaching from Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels can really dial up some offense, man. He can really scheme it up. I think you got a tremendous run game. You saw what Ramondre Stevenson did today, but it's against one of the worst run defenses in the league. Miami is just god-awful against the run. But Travion Henderson's a legitimate weapon. He has got ridiculous speed. The old Lorenzo Neal, if he's even, he's leaving. So that's a challenge, but they don't really have a number one receiver. And for me, it's just up front. When I look up front and I see, Justin Herbert, who leads the league in pressures with 268 and sacks, 54, who's right behind him, the next full-time starter, Drake May. His offensive line has given up 222 pressures and 47 sacks. So now you're playing even, man. It's like, all right, you're going to be under duress. Herbert's going to be under duress. And then I think the big part of that is just the front. And it's not that it's a bad front. It's just of all the teams that you could have possibly faced, Jacksonville, Denver, Pittsburgh, Houston, like of all those teams, this is the defensive front that for the season has been the least productive. I mean, that's all I'm saying is it's not Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. It's not Trevon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. It's not TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith and Cam Hayward. And when I go into their pass rushing stats, I don't think they have a double-digit sack guy, do they? No. Their leading sacker is Caleb Chason and Harold Landry. They got 7.5 each. And remember who they've played. It's been the easiest schedule in the league. So they're talking about win percentages, pressure rates. Their highest pressure rate is Caleb Chason at 15%. So to kind of put that in perspective for the Chargers, if we go by pressure rates, you've got, let me let it pull up here. You've got, let's not do that. Let's go to total pressures. So Thule is at 73 with a 17.5% pressure rate. Behind that, you got Khalil Mack with a 17.4% pressure rate. Oweh, 16% pressure rate. So Chason's at 15, Barmore's at 12.5, Landry's at 12.5. So, like, to me, this is like fair fight, man. The way that their O-line has been a little bit leaky, the Chargers' O-line's been a little bit leaky. Their defensive line, if you're talking about Chason, Barmore, Landry, and Milton Williams, versus Oweh, Mack, Thule, Deshaun Hannon, Tart, it's advantage Chargers. Like, that to me is advantage Chargers. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at of all the teams they could have faced in that first round. This is the one that trenches-wise, their O-line's been leaky. They've given up 47 sacks and 220 pressures, and their D-line has not been incredibly productive. And we know that that's kind of where, like, if Jesse Minter can get home with 4, boy, can he do some damage. And so that's something that's been a bit of an issue for the Patriots this season, which is why I think it lines up pretty well for them. It's still going to be very hard. We're still talking about a team that won 14 games, 14-3. They have a very good rush attack. They got a very good play caller. They don't have that number one receiver. And that's the other thing, like when you're talking about how well Jacoby Myers is now added to Calvin Ridley and Parker Washington and that group in Jacksonville with those running backs, with Trevor Etienne and by the way that Trevor Lawrence uses his legs, I think that would have been a tough matchup. A much tougher matchup, not to mention the play caller and Liam Cohen. I might sneeze here, and if I do, I apologize. I am. Sorry, everybody. It's late. When I get late, I get all messed up. But let's take another sip of this, see if that'll make it all work. So for me, and it's a Sunday nighter, it's going to be some weather. Not terrible. It's not like 0-degree weather, but it's going to be in the 40s. Might be raining, so not entirely great conditions. And you got, a team that has 0 playoff experience at quarterback, at a lot of those young players. And here you've got Khalil Mack and Derwin James and Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and a lot of these guys that have already been through it in the playoffs and have some experience. So for me, it was, I think, the matchup that presented itself is maybe the best opportunity. And then you win that, and you go back to Denver, a team that you just, again, with all backups, were in a pretty much of a dogfight all the way through the late third quarter. And offensively, they could not get anything going. So to me, it lined up well. It lined up really well. And I think we found a couple nuggets out there. Like I said, I think Trevor Penning at right guard, and Andre James, I thought, played pretty darn well at center. So Jared Patterson, I think, earned himself a spot on the playoff roster. If it's Amari Hampton, Kamani Vidal, and Jarrett Patterson, I know Hassan's been a good special teamer, but I think, Patterson runs hard, man. He can catch the ball to the backfield, and I thought he was exceptional in pass pro. So I thought that lined up pretty well. And more targets for Trey Harris, even though that wasn't a completed pass to the end zone. Man, you see the way he laid out for that ball was beautiful. So I think it's more targets for him. That's just stuff off the top of my head right now. So like I said, there's probably not going to be a super long one just because it's late. And I'd rather just kind of get to you, the people, as you can help me figure this thing out. I know I've already got a lot of questions about how healthy the Patriots offensive line is. So let me just see I don't know if they posted snap counts yet. If they would be up there for week 18. Let's see if they got it. Yes, they do. I think, or maybe not. Let me go to here, see where they're at. New England Patriots, week 18. Where's my offensive line? And trying to find it. Oh, they don't have it up. So yeah, I don't know. But when I go to PFF for the season, you got Onwenu at 648, Bradbury at 642, Moses at 621, Will Campbell at 476. Let me see what Will has done. My apologies, I haven't been following the Patriots super close. So yeah, Will played 45 snaps today. So your left tackle's back. Where is, I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like they're pretty much back. Jared Wilson, let's see where he's at. Jared Wilson did not play today. So that's someone who's been operating pretty well at guard. 97% pass blocking efficiency, 5.8% pressure rate. He's given up 4 sacks, 28 pressures. So in his place, looks like Ben Brown played today. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, Ben Brown played today. So that would be the one spot that maybe is still up for grabs. So, yeah, that's kind of where it's at. Let's go to you, the people. Like I said, I am probably not going to make this one real long, but I wanted to get it out of the way. So, or not out of the way, I just wanted to do it now, just to kind of get to you guys, because it's 11:12. Drink a beer. It's been a long day. And see what we got going. So remember, 7 seed, all games are going to be on the road. So this is great. Like, the way it would have worked out is had the Chargers won that game, Broncos would have fell to 3. And then we would have been going right back there for the wild card game as the 5 seed. And I think this holds for the NFC as well. I think you can totally see Green Bay, the Rams, and the 49ers winning their games. I think you can totally see the Bills, the Chargers, and the Texans winning their games. And I think the same holds for all the teams in front of them. You know, that you can see them in chalk holding. It's wide open. There is, like I said, when it gets late, the body gets weird. There's no buzzsaw. Seattle is a 1 seed. Denver is a 1 seed. I think they are both flawed teams. Seattle is pretty darn good top to bottom. I think they are a much more formidable 1 seed than the Broncos are. So, all right, let's go. Let's get to you, the people, and get through this. Hey, Money from Dallas. What's up, Dallas? Oh, I want to shout out Matthew, Imperial Valley. Drove 1,100 miles to the game. Was wearing his Junior Seau shirt. So, Matthew, kudos to you. You're a stud. I enjoyed talking to you. And everybody that I was rapping with down on the sideline, that was great. Hello, McFly. He said, hi, Matt. Bolt fam from Andy's. Maddie from Kid Vic. Saludos to my man, Gerardo Espinosa Sausa. Appreciate you. Checking in from Wisconsin. Nice, dude. It's late there. What is it? 1 a.m., 1:15 a.m. in Wisconsin, or as they say in the Midwest, Wisconsin. Up there in Wisconsin, I like the spatted cow. It's a good beer. What's up, 909? Appreciate the 909. One area code I have not lived in out here. Bonjour, monsieur, François. Comment allez-vous? Hello from Oregon. This is pretty cool. Got a little national crowd going from Mr. Vargas. Hello from, let's see, Joe in RM says, yo, what's up, Joe in Rancho Mirage? Is that my friend Joe Turtolo, my old college friend? Maybe. I think so, judging by the avatar. What's up, Joe Turtolo? Tyler Caldwell with a what's up money. Ahoy, Matt from 40s with a Z. You think we'll leave a little earlier to get acclimated to the weather, says Bolt Gang. I think for those East Coast trips, we've left on Friday for all of them. So I suspect, even though it's a Sunday nighter, we'll probably leave on Friday as well, just to get acclimated, even though it's a late game, which is a bonus. You get the late kick, so you're good on that front. The time zone shift doesn't affect you at all. Are we back on the radio tomorrow? We are, Jay. Yes, PMS is back tomorrow. Very excited about that. Trent, maybe I'm being too much of a homer. I feel like we should beat the Pats. Herbert has the Broncos number. Could get to an AFC championship game with an Alt Slater. Yeah, no Slater for sure, and I would be very surprised to see Alt. We'll see with the Patriots. The big knock on the Patriots is, man, another yawn. Sorry, everybody. I truly apologize. Is their strength of schedule. They lost 3 games at home. Raiders, obviously, in the opening week. That's why they're not the 1 seed. And then they lost to Pittsburgh and Buffalo, 2 playoff teams. So those are their 3 losses. Yeah, they went 14-3, right? Yeah. So their other 2 losses were playoff teams. Patriots and the Bills. It was a very friendly schedule, much like it was a very friendly schedule for the Broncos this year. They played a ton of their games with backup quarterbacks. Like, if you just go through the Broncos, we mentioned this on the broadcast. They played Cincinnati with Jake Browning. They played Houston with Davis Mills. They played Kansas City with Olajuwon. They played Washington with Marcus Mariota, not JT Daniels. And they played the Chargers with Trey Lance. It's 5 of their wins. 5 of their 14 wins were against backup quarterbacks. You go to the Patriots this season, they had the easiest strength of schedule. Raiders, Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina. Obviously, you talk about Miami twice. Not a good team this year. Jets twice. Abysmal. Just embarrassment of a team this year. And then the Bills they split with New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tampa, Cincinnati, Giants, Baltimore, which was a tight one that the Ravens completely blew that game. That was their schedule. So, you can only play the teams on your schedule. They were able to win 14 games, but let's see, that is 1, 2, Baltimore, 1, 2 was Baltimore. They were 9-8, I think. Yeah, right. So their wins came against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of their 14 wins came against teams with losing records. So, again, you can only play the games. You can only play the teams on your schedule. I'm not going to knock them too hard. But, let's see if you can do it in the playoffs, man. You think that was a draft question? Where else? Impressed with the Bolts today, so I think I'm still way behind. Let's get to these. Cheers from Santa Barbara. Cheers to you. All right. Leave a little. Okay, so that's where I was. Earlier to acclimate. Back on the radio, yes. Maybe I'm being too much of a homer. All right, that's where I left off. Kate's emptied the bank for your gift. I know. I appreciate it. You know what? You buy something that people are going to use, and I love it. Got me a nice 4-pack of. Got me a 4-pack of beer and a scratcher that won me $10. Thanks for doing it now. Eager to hear all about it. You're the best. No, you're the best. PK Spin Class. Dry January sucks for me. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've not been drinking a lot lately. So this is kind of my one bastion of beer. Otherwise, it's been the other stuff that I've been kind of doing. So, and that's fine. On the New England, I like our chances. I do too, Mateo. Road to the Super Bowl, Pats, Broncos, Bills. We can do it, bolt up. I'd be fine to follow that path, Zach. I got no problem with that. Although I wouldn't mind Pats, Broncos. Yeah, that works. Why not, right? Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, the AFC Championship game. My goodness. What's up, Matt Money Smith? Best in the West. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. What's up, Money from Willie Big Shrimp. Glad Buffalo won. Rather play New England than Jacksonville. You and me. I think early on, yeah. I think they can beat Jacksonville, but Liam Cohen has shown that he's able to really kind of get after it with this Chargers defense, whatever reason. Just like Jesse Minter's got Sean Payton's number. He has now for, I think, 4 games in a row you can make that case. Some bolt up there. Do you have an update on Campbell from the Patriots? He played today, one. Shout out from Stockton. Yes, the home of the Spanos family. They built Stockton. So what's happening there? Bolt Pride Stockton. 209. Alex Spanos, of course, was able to get his fortune amassed from the fine town of Stockton, California. Tip of the cap to him, great Alex Spanos. His name is on the Cal Poly San Luis Obispo football stadium, which I love seeing as I have a daughter, Parker, who's there. Fair to say the boys look pretty solid today. Absolutely, Kid Vicks. Defensively. Defensively, they look good. I thought Patterson had some nice runs. I thought Trey Harris had some nice catches. So, yeah, but defensively, they played lights out, I thought. Proud to still have a 3-1-0 Sky Felix defense. I've asked you this before. I like your positive response. Can you briefly discuss why you think our O-line will have a chance to protect Herbert and run the ball for a deep run? Well, the numbers, Brandon, would say they can't. They've been 31 against the run, 32 against the pass. So I think it's up to, I feel like with this sort of new Trevor Penning as a 6th offensive lineman, or if he's going to play right guard, which I would seriously consider if I were the Chargers. Austin Deculus is that 6th offensive lineman. You get back Tucker Fisk. I think he's been invaluable as that move tight end. I think you can really do some damage. I think they found something there. And to me, Amari and Hampton running the ball is just a different deal. So I think you kind of put all those things together, and there's an opportunity to kind of overcome some of the issues that have plagued that offensive line. Shout out from USC. What's up, Bones? Update on the O-line of the Patriots. There you go, one. I feel like we already did that. Cheers from Santa Barbara. Hampton's ankle, something to worry about? No. I think he was just getting a rest. Saw him limping late in the Texans game. Yeah, I think he's all right. They just wanted to get him the rest. Game went way better. I totally agree, CJ. Goodell will suspend Diggs and Campbell after we play him on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, that was BS that Al-Shaair didn't get suspended and just got a fine. That was just ridiculous. Defense was good. On to the playoffs, no doubt. And it was good without 6 starters. I said it. No Thule, no Khalil Mack, no Dayon, no Denzel, no Derwin James, no Elijah Molden. That is 6 of your 11 starters that were not playing today, and yet they still held that offense to 6 points. You could argue 9. Fine, you want to take 9 points because they moved the ball into a goal-to-go situation and kick that field goal after the turnover on downs at midfield. Wax on, he is fun to watch. You're right about that, Sherry. He always plays on special teams, and he's great on special teams. But man, he sees it, he diagnoses it, and he hits it. So we'll see whether or not he can earn some reps. A lot to ask probably in the playoffs when Denzel Perriman's going to be back. I think the DP Dayon pairing is your best linebacker pairing. So, but for me, I'm excited about his future for sure. Really wanted to see Trey Lance throw a tutty. Yeah, me too, kid. Just was not in the cards. Lance, long-term serviceable backup in the league. I think he probably hurt himself a little bit today. I think it would have been better to see Trey do what he does best, and that's run a lot. Take advantage of his legs and that athleticism, and get after it a little bit more. So I think throwing the ball, I felt like he missed a few throws. That left sideline throw to Keandre Lambert-Smith that was like 5 yards out of bounds. I thought there was one to Keenan that sailed over him when he had a step on his defender. So we'll see. I know he's a great guy, and they love having him around. So it's possible that that's good enough to bring him back next year. Or if DJ's ready to go, and Uiagalelei can be their backup. Linebacker room set for the next couple of years. Bring back Dye and Perriman. Henley's a star. Wax Phillips. Dan. Delshon Phillips. Whew. I did not realize the thump that he brings, man. He had a couple licks last week against Houston, and in this one, it's like I kind of like having that guy out there, man. He's got a very similar to Perriman, where he plays at a very physical level. And I forgot about Junior Colson. Get him healthy next year. Beat New England right back in Denver with a full squad. Exactly, Willie Big Shrimp. You planted those seeds of, we made life tough on you with a bunch of backups. shut down speed our offense. They did, Wes. That's prior to that throw to Evan Ingram for 37 yards. He had passed for 38 yards and averaged 0.9 air yards per attempt. 4 of his 6 completions prior to that pass to Ingram were behind the line of scrimmage. And again, if you've got Khalil and Thule and Derlin out there, that ain't happening. Those completions are not going for the 15 and 20 yards that they were going for. Another one with the Patriots O-line. I already addressed that. Will Campbell played today. Broncos don't want to see us, but they will. I hope they do. Game went better than expected. We got into that. Denver with their lead didn't want to reveal too much as well. I don't think so, Brandon. They had to win that game. And Bo Nix just couldn't find any answers. There was nothing out there for him. So, and I think for how poorly their offense has played for a lot of this season, I think they wanted to try to get after it a little bit and get a positive vibe going into the playoffs, and they definitely did not get it. So, I mean, they held Cortland Sutton with 1 catch. So, if Joe Alt comes back, when will that be? He's available to come back for the playoffs because you get 2 extra designated return from injury slots. So there's a possibility that he could. I just have heard that the ankle not quite ready. Back into New England like his 2018 outcome will be different. I agree. Got that big win over Baltimore in the wild card, then went to New England, and Tom Brady just got rid of that ball. I remember how frustrated Joey Bosa was on the flight home just because Tom Brady never held onto the ball. Hampton's the key. I agree. Dallas, I think Hampton could be a huge, huge part of that game. Let's get a look at what are the Patriots allowing against the run. Let's see. Yards per game. Patriots pretty darn good. Top 7, 101.7 yards per game. Chargers right behind him at 105.4. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like even, right? It's even. Patriots allowing 18.8 points per game. The Chargers 20 points per game. Chances the league takes action on Diggs and Campbell before Sunday. I don't think it's Campbell we're talking about, Eric. I believe it's Barmore. I don't think there's anything going on with Will Campbell unless I'm missing something. And if I am, I'm sorry. Let me see. Yeah, no, I think you're talking about Barmore. And I think chances are very slim. Yep, I thought Andre James played as well. That's how I'll address that statement. Juan, I've said it multiple times. Any updates on how healthy the Patriots O-line is? Yes. Here is your update again, because you've now posted it 4 or 5 times. The Patriots O-line had everyone out there except for Vidarian Lowe was out there for Jared Wilson. Otherwise, it was their starters from the whole season. Impressed with the Bolts today? I was too. Any given day. Can we beat Denver in 2 weeks? No question. Azul, they beat them 3 times coming into this game, and I thought the backups kept this game in the balance, specifically defensively. Missed the start. Sorry, Money. Looking forward to the game. A shot, not taking the Pats lightly. You shouldn't take the Pats lightly. They're a very good team. A very, very good team. But again, because of their leaky offensive line and because of their lack of pass rush, I think of all the teams you could have played, it's at least the one that presents a matchup that could be favorable to what the Chargers' weaknesses are. So that's why I just kind of like it ahead of any of the other ones. Draft O-line this coming. You know what, Brandon? Let's not talk about the draft, man. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Let's talk about making that run, and then once that ends, we'll talk after they win the Lombardi, and we're all partying together at the parade and having a good time. Then we'll talk about what they might look for in the draft, if you don't mind. O-line looked better. I thought they did. I thought there were some clean pockets out there. Bo, fraud. I don't know if he's a fraud. I mean, he's passed for nearly 7,500 yards. And they've won a bunch of games. They made the playoffs last year after a 4-win season the year prior when he was a rookie. I think Bo's just, got some, I think he's got to, kind of have everything right for him system-wise, play caller-wise. I do think he throws a great ball when he's on the move. But, yeah, I think he misses a lot of throws. And I think outside of a lot of that scrambling stuff, that if you can take that away, you can really contain him and make life hard for him. But he's very young. Diggs eligibility, we'll see, man. I think the evidence that's been presented is quite unfortunate. So, not going to talk about Ortiz and the cap. That's stuff for the offseason. Oh, well, draft stuff. What should our uni combo for primetime be? Well, it's kind of up to the Patriots and what they want to wear. So I'm assuming they're going to probably wear their navy top, pewter pant combo. And that would lead me to think the Chargers will probably go white top, powder blue pant. If I had to guess, that would be what I suspect they will do. I don't think they'll go all white or gold pants. I think they'll go powder because they like the powder blue pants. Trenches wins in the playoffs, says Brandon. I agree. Something psychological about facing Jacksonville. Refreshing about facing a team you haven't played. Not only a team you haven't played, Jeff, but a team you beat 40-7 in Week 17 last year. Do I think Drake May is legit? Absolutely. I think when it's all said and done, that quarterback class with Caleb and Drake May at the top of it is going to go down as something incredibly special. I think the two of them, I like Jaden Daniels. I just have, as someone who saw him up close, I was always concerned about the bulk. He's tall, but he's very narrow-shouldered. And guys like that need their legs to be effective tend to get hurt. And you saw that this year. He stayed healthy last year, and he was great. And he's a sensational quarterback, but I worry about him being able to stay on the field. So to me, I think Drake May and Caleb Williams are going to make the 2024 draft class one that's considered to be very special. We've already seen what Bo Nix has been able to do. I mean, his team's the number one seed in the AFC West. So you got three right there that are playing really well. You know, I think everything's still out on McCarthy and Michael Penix because of the injury. But yes, I'm a big Drake May fan. I think he's a fantastic player. Gesundheit. Oh, wow. That's how far back I am. My ears with the bless you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean it. A lot of Patriots. 0 pass rush. Give Herbert some time. Sunday night special. Prime time. Herbert. It's true. They're 5-1 in prime time this year. You know, or not prime time. They're 5-1 in national. They're 5-0 in prime time. 5-1 in nationally televised games. They lost this Saturday afternoon to Houston. I thought Andre James played well, Jeff, but I'm going to go back and watch. To be fair, it's hard for me to be able to keep my eye on the offensive line because I'm following the ball, so I can call the action, but I don't feel like I mentioned him at all. So that's a good thing. I mentioned this Kalua. Alt is able to come back from the IR. I just don't. I think it's a big long shot. What do we got? Need to see lots of Ladd on Sunday. I agree, Willie. I want to see him get more targets, 100%. And let's not forget, man, a lot of Quentin Johnston has had a really good season, really, really good season. I'll be in New England. Anyone else going? I can't wait to see you out there, Connor. Love it. 2 guys activated off IR, Fisk and Alt. Maybe Nico Reed. Well, he's not on IR. Nico was just inactive today. So, I think Fisk is for certain going to be activated. That would be my guess. And I think probably, you'd hold out hope for Alt. Maybe can make it back on the conference championship game or something like that. And Eric, again, I don't know. That's just what I've heard, is that the ankle, Perriman will be fresh after the 2 weeks off. Hampton's going to be fresh. Sawyer's going to be fresh. Powder jerseys, gold pants. It's just, Brian, I think it'd be, I don't think the Patriots are going to wear, I don't think they're going to wear white. So if they're wearing navies, then we're pretty much regulated to wearing the white tops, is what I'm guessing. Andre James looked good at center. I agree. The Barbic Show. Thanks again, Money. Cracking a Mountain Culture IPA soon in Sydney. Right on, Mushy P. Here's to you. What else we got? Any news on QJ? He's fine, Juan. He just didn't play because they wanted to rest him. Thank you, Mushy P. I do look tired. I feel tired. I'm going to go to bed here in a minute. It's 11:35. I'm going to wrap this thing up in the next 5 minutes. Went way better than expected. Wide open. Yes, the AFC is wide open. Ninny Gex. Love this pass for the Chargers. Agree. Probably wear white. Road team. Bolt up. At Baltimore next year. Yeah, drink that Natty Bow. Exactly right. I'll be back there. Yeah, they put out the schedules today. So we got some fun ones. 2 Florida trips again. Tampa and Miami. Buffalo, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the season opener. If we open the new Buffalo Stadium and you got a Herbert versus Josh Allen showdown. Because, I guess that wouldn't work. Because if we're the Super Bowl winner, then we're going to open on a Thursday with a home game. So maybe it won't be the home opener. Unless, put the Bills on the road week 1 and then open the new stadium week 2 and we'll come see you. Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Appreciate you, Bryce. Love Canada. Love the Saskatchewan. And I believe I pronounced it right. Regina, not Regina. Spotted Cow, literally the best. Bee's Knees, that's right. I do like the Spotted Cow. It's a good creamy beer. Look, you're the 7 seed and teams aren't going to favor you. We're all white for New England. Interesting. I think powder blue pants is probably likely. They do surf Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. Salt Lake Superior's been getting a lot of action too. So, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything in Boston, unfortunately. What else we got? Feeling about the run game. Cassius, I like it. I think you get Amari and Hampton out there. And again, the Patriots are a good run defense, a little over 100 yards per game, but I do think fresh legs for Hampton can be a good thing. Make it to any of the charge up events this week, money. If I can, I will. Shea for days. I will. I promise. If I can make it. But with the radio show I do every day, it makes it kind of hard just because I'm typically on the air until 6 or 7 every day. So it's hard to get to those. Can't wait to hear more tomorrow. What up, money? Flight, ticket, hotel, and game ticket purchase already. Love that, Lucifer. We'll see you out there in Foxborough. We already talked about. Do I think the Broncos offense was trying? Absolutely, they were. They were not hiding their playbook for the playoffs. Bo Nix had no answers to the test. He was flummoxed. So let's wrap this thing up. If I did not get to your questions, there's a lot of them. I apologize. No PMS. Oh, we might be doing a Thursday remote, Brian, on PMS. Just keep listening and we'll get to the bottom of that. Sawyer, Johnson, James, Penning, and Pipkins. Yes, I think it's going to go Bozeman. I think they'll put Bozeman back out there. But I do like the idea of Penning in place of Becton. Just from a health standpoint, I think Becton's dealing with something. But I thought Andre James looked good. What are my concerns most about the Patriots matchup? I think a lot of it's coaching. Mike Vrabel's such a good coach. Josh McDaniels a great offensive play caller. So I think they present some serious challenges on that front. Cracking a bench spoke crankshaft IPA, another one of Australia's best. Look at all the Australians out here. I love it, mate. Feeling about the run game, I think I already talked about that. Oh, they put Nico Reed on IR Friday. Well, there you go. They would not bring Nico back over Alt if they could get Alt back. I think the staff just wants to win games. Did Keenan buy the whole plane at round of drinks? Yeah, congratulations to him, man. He deserved that $1 million in incentives. He's had such a good year. So it's very excited. Very, very excited for him. All right, I think that's it. I think we're going to knock it out on that. So, new to the stream, excited for Sunday. Luke, I'm sorry I'm cutting out of here, but you can go back and watch it. I'll post it in a second. Appreciate all you. It's late, and I need to get to bed. So, thank you, everybody. For those of you watching it tomorrow morning, good morning. I hope this helps carry you to work in bad traffic or whatever. Appreciate all of you, but I got to go brush the teeth and blow the nose. And like I said, I'm a mess, man. I'm an old man. I got to get to bed early and get up early and go hit some waves. So good night, everybody. Bolt up. Appreciate you. And again, this one was 818 San Fernando Valley Brewing in Canoga Park. Valley Girl blonde ale. Gag me with a spoon. All right, everybody. Good night.